Welcome to Free Blues Boxing. Welcome back to Free Blues Boxing. Today's topic, Teofimo Lopez. Is Teofimo Lopez a duck? What does it mean to duck? Ducking an opponent is petitioning for a franchise belt, or just ducking, not ducking the opposition, not fighting the opponent you're supposed to fight at the time you're supposed to fight him. Is Teofimo Lopez a duck? He's done some duck things in the boxing industry as far as petitioning to get a franchise belt when you are the mandatory for the Devin Haney challenge. You are Devin Haney's mandatory, and you ducked. That's what that means. Then I don't know. I don't know. I don't think Teofimo Lopez is scared of Devin Haney. I just think that they don't fight on the same platform right now. So the fans and the boxing world just has to wait until post-vaccination where they can really scale the mega fight between him and Devin Haney, between Teofimo Lopez and Tank Davis, between Teofimo Lopez and Ryan Garcia, until all these super lightweights fight each other. Just have to wait and see. And I'll also be covering the Adrien Broner fight this weekend. Almost said next weekend. This weekend. It's closer than we think. We get to see the return of AB, which is huge. It's been about a 2-year layoff. I want to see what he brings to the table. I've been looking at his Instagram story, and he's been having a lot of fun in the house with his kids, with his girlfriend. He hasn't made her his wife yet. With his girlfriend, I guess bonding. You know what I mean? Just bonding with family right now before the fight. I guess all the work is done. All the training is done. Even him and his trainer/nutritionist was goofing around. Adrien Broner was recording him eating a popsicle. And then AB was like, "You gonna eat my popsicles, man?" And then his trainer was like, "Come on, man, you got like 64 in there. Not 6, not 4, 64 left." Like, why you tripping off me? That was acting stupid. But I want to see AB go in there and get the job done so that he can get these mega fights with Regis Prograis and hopefully Josh Taylor at 140. I really want him to go back up to 47 eventually and get it on with Danny Garcia, Terrence Crawford, and Keith Thurman. Last year in 2020, Keith Thurman fought Manny Pacquiao and lost, but Keith Thurman, who was undefeated, got dropped. He got dropped by Manny Pacquiao. And when Adrien Broner fought Manny Pacquiao, he didn't lose as badly as Keith Thurman did. So it only makes sense for the losers out of those fights, Adrien Broner and Keith Thurman, to get in the ring and get it on for a mega fight pay-per-view. I'm sure the world would love to see it. Heavyweights that I like right now, Deontay Wilder was my favorite heavyweight fighter, but he lost to Tyson Fury last year, about a year ago, and it was during Black History Month too. We're never gonna forget that one. But yeah, he lost to Tyson Fury, and it wasn't that he lost so much. It was after he lost and the way he was acting and the excuses that he had. So he lost to Tyson Fury, and he blamed his ring walk suit, his costume that he wore out walking into the fight. He said it was too heavy and that his legs were weak in the fight. That was the reason why he got knocked out, which I disagree. That was an excuse. And then I watched a recent interview with Brian Scott, who was just asking him about. That was about a couple months ago. I just watched it like a couple nights ago. Um, Deontay Wilder is also trying to take Tyson Fury to court because he was saying that his gloves, that pretty much Tyson Fury cheated and that his gloves were too thin. And he had about 5 different excuses on why he lost. Um, when really he just wasn't in there boxing good. It wasn't what Tyson Fury necessarily brought to the table. It's what Deontay Wilder didn't bring, and that was hard. That was he didn't make it a competitive fight at all. He had a bunch of excuses. He hasn't got back in the ring in a year. He hasn't got back in the ring in a year, which makes me think that he's scared to get in. Also, he had a rematch clause, so all he had to do was sign the date in a specific amount of time to get the trilogy with Tyson Fury. Mind you, they fought. They fought one time previous, so he didn't sign the rematch clause for a trilogy, and he was on social media just trying to bash Tyson Fury and calling him a coward instead of signing the contract and getting back in the ring. And this is, you know what I mean? They might have been able to get that trilogy in before COVID started, and it would have been a huge fight. It would have sold big. But no, Deontay Wilder wanted to just sit around. He wanted to just sit around and blame this, blame that, blame the costume, cry on Instagram. So, and he got his WBC belt, heavyweight championship belt, snatched by Tyson Fury. And Tyson Fury was ready for the trilogy. The first time they fought, it was a draw. It was a draw. It was a great fight. The second time they fought last year in February, Tyson Fury humiliated Deontay Wilder. It made him look like a little boy. He was licking his neck with blood, you know what I mean? Like with blood everywhere, and he stopped Deontay Wilder. So, and Deontay Wilder is coming off is really soft, and he won't get back in there. For instance, the other heavyweight, Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua, who had lost his belt to the Mexican warrior Andy Ruiz, lost his belts. There's a rematch clause when you're the top dog, when you're the A side. Anthony Joshua signed his rematch clause and was able to get the rematch with Andy Ruiz. Anthony Joshua isn't one of my favorite fighters, but you have to respect that he got back in the ring. He won his fight. He won the rematch against Andy Ruiz. He won the rematch against Andy Ruiz and was able to get his belts back. And that is what you're supposed to do if you lose. Don't sit around. Don't mope around. Don't blame this and that. Don't say, I'm going to sue him and go to court. Don't fall off the face of the earth. Just get back in the ring and do what you love. So yeah, those are the heavyweights right there. But Anthony Joshua, who I just mentioned, who has pretty much all the belts except for the WBC belt that Tyson Fury snatched from Deontay Wilder. They are about to fight each other, Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. And that is going to be the mega fight. It might happen this year. If not, it should definitely happen next year. And that whoever wins that fight, because all the marbles will be on the line, all the marbles. So whoever wins that fight will be the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. So yeah, that's it for the heavyweights. Deontay Wilder. It doesn't even matter who he fights because if he doesn't, it doesn't matter if he doesn't fight, unless he gets a fight with the belt holders, Anthony Joshua or Tyson Fury. It doesn't matter. It does not matter if Deontay Wilder fights a Randy and gets a knockout. What would be the point of that other than making money? And that's fine. You can make money, but you're not chasing legacy anymore. You're not fighting the best fighters, so it's kind of it's a little pointless. So I mean, Deontay Wilder was talking about he gonna get back in the ring. Deontay Wilder was talking about he gonna get back in the ring this month. Yeah, he said February or top of March. So, and we still haven't heard anything about a date. He's still been ducked off, and this might be the end of the Deontay Wilder era. So, fighters like Gervonta Tank Davis, who's in the lower weight class, has taken over Deontay Wilder and what he's been doing as far as knocking everybody out and never losing. The next fighter to do that is either Gervonta Tank Davis or Edgar Berlanga, coming up at 168, who has knocked out everyone in the first round. Not only knocked out everyone, but knocked out everybody in the first round. That's the type of fighters. That's the type of business model that's mostly attracting to the boxing world. Everybody wants to see a knockout. Everybody wants to see a fierce fighter, a fierce competitor. So yeah, we'll just have to see about that. But the heavyweight division is definitely hot. Don't get it misconstrued. It's a lot of fight. There's a few more fights to be made, and we're very close to seeing who will be the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. But yeah, back to Adrien Broner. Adrien Broner fights this weekend. I don't think the other star, Robert Easter Jr., which is his brother. It's crazy. They both lost. Adrien Broner and Robert Easter Jr. both lost to Mikey Garcia. Both guys from Cincinnati. The trolls and the fans love to make fun of them for that. Saying Mikey Garcia is their dad and things. The internet can get pretty shisty. But my other partner makes fun of Adrien Broner and Robert Easter because I guess there is a history of Cincinnati, because they're both from Cincinnati boxers that just cat off in fights. So he likes to say that it's in their DNA to just kind of not rise to the occasion. But Adrien Broner's a four-time world champion. Like, he's done a lot of things. He's done a lot of things a lot of fighters could never do at a young age. And one day he'll get the credit he deserves. But since he's always in the media and always in court and always going through it, that kind of overshines the him being a four-time world champion narrative, because every time he's in the media, it's on something negative. So yeah, that's that. Adrien Broner started fighting. They all started fighting when they were 5. He went pro. Adrien Broner didn't really go to the he didn't go to the Olympics, like the grown Olympics. He went to the child Olympics. So Adrien had went to jail. I can't remember what it was for. It might have been for robbery or something crazy, something wild. When Adrien Broner got out of jail, he was probably 18 or 19. He got out of jail. He was like, he locked in. He was like, I'm going pro. So he got out of jail and went pro. Um, so yeah, that's Adrien Broner's story. I mean, they've all been fighting since they were 5, and they were in, I think the Olympic tournaments as kids, the Olympic tournaments, boxing tournaments. But Broner never went, to the grown Olympics, like 18 and over Olympics. That's what made Broner. That's what made Adrien Broner such a special fighter. If you look at fighters like Lomachenko just lost to Teofimo Lopez in the lightweight division. Um, he has over 400 amateur fights and only lost like maybe 13 or 12, something crazy like that. 400 amateur fights to didn't end up going pro until like some crazy like 27 or 28. Um, and he hasn't quite done what Adrien Broner has done as far as being a champion through 4 different weight classes. So yeah, Adrien Broner is a special fighter when you look at when you look on paper and you look at the resume, and also skill wise. He's very quick, very talented, very powerful, great defense. The problem with Adrien Broner is that he tried to go up too many weight classes and at too early in his career when he should have gradually. It's only been certain fighters like Floyd that could jump 2, 3 weight classes and dominate fighters. We've seen a lot of fighters in recent time who try to jump up 2 weight classes to fight the boogeyman of the division and lose. Mikey Garcia, for instance, when he fought, we try to go up and fight my guy Errol Spence Jr. He got outpointed. So, but the thing about Adrien Broner is only 31. He's got a lot of time. He's got like another solid, I want to say at least 4 years. I'm gonna say 4 to 5 years at least, because he hasn't been taking much punishment. We just don't know until he gets in the ring. Um, but he should dominate this guy this weekend. And if he doesn't, he's a J-Cat. So we'll just have to see. Gervonta Tank Davis, who also started boxing at 5, pretty much, I don't know, pretty much whoever has authority over, the kid. Gervonta Davis, when he was a kid, his parents wasn't really in his life, so he just kind of just ran to the boxing gym from school every day, and that's how he became a boxer. Um, you know what I mean? Or they lack father figures. And you know what I mean? Or if they do have a father, sometimes they see him fight. That's what happened with Gervonta Tank Davis, his uncle. His uncle had seen him fighting too much. He was like, I'm going to take you to the boxing gym. You know what I mean? So, and that's what happened with Devin Haney. Bill Haney, which is Devin Haney's dad and his trainer, seeing that Devin Haney was fighting a lot in school. So he was like, okay, we're going to give you something to fight about. I'm taking you to the boxing gym. Fast forward to now, you know what I mean? He's obviously a successful young boxer. And his father, Bill Haney, made the best decision by putting him in the boxing gym and you know what I mean, watering that flower. So but yeah, Teofimo Lopez is a great fighter. Teofimo Lopez is a great fighter. He's going to be taking on George Kambosos. Um, he's going to be announcing the fight date next week. He's going to be announcing the fight date next week. Um, he's fighting a guy who's very tough, 19-0, 10 knockouts. He's not real belts, but Australian belt holder. So basically, he is the nicest Australian dude. He's the nicest Australian dude. He's the nicest Australian lightweight out of Australia. Why did I say Australia twice? He's the nicest lightweight out of Australia. And he's been scoping Teofimo Lopez, and now he's been ordered by the sanctioning bodies to fight Teofimo Lopez. So it's gonna be an exciting fight. The dude looks tough as nails. And that's exactly what Teofimo Lopez needs to stay busy. He says that he can expose Teofimo Lopez's weaknesses as far as his stamina, and he said he's gonna tire him out basically, and that Teofimo Lopez gets too tired in the later rounds. So I guess he's just gonna capitalize. Excuse me. I guess he's just gonna capitalize on that. So yeah, I think Teo. I like how Teo is taking this duck narrative and kind of just, you know what I mean, just taking ownership of it and just using it as like as a marketing tactic and getting everybody's attention, because that's what he could do right now. So Devin Haney, who wants Teofimo Lopez, is calling him a duck a lot because he is not the true champion. He chose to be the franchise champion instead of fighting for the real belt that Devin Haney currently possesses now. So Teo is taking the duck narrative, and he says that he wants all his fans to come in costumes and dress as ducks. And I think he's saying he's going to continue to say it. A little corny, but he's a great fighter, so it's all good. But Teofimo Lopez's last fight against Lomachenko, which was on the ESPN platform, was a really, 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 really good fight. It was a really good fight. Teofimo Lopez outpointed Lomachenko last November, a few months ago. That's when I realized, and I thought Lomachenko was gonna get it done against Teo, given he has more experience. They call him the Matrix for a reason. Nobody has cracked the code, the Lomachenko code. Teofimo Lopez being 10 years younger. Teofimo Lopez being 10 years younger. Able to come in here. Lomachenko had to take a pay cut. Lomachenko, you know what I mean, took less money to fight a more dangerous fighter to gain nothing. And Lomachenko thought he was going to win, and he was embarrassed that he lost. And he knew he lost. Everybody knew he lost. That's when I realized Teofimo Lopez is the real deal. And he definitely put the lightweight division on notice. I just dropped a Teofimo Lopez video, pretty much of me just going over the content of some things that I'm saying now. He admits that he's a duck on his IG live, and he's also trolling the other superstar lightweights, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Gervonta Tank Davis. He is trolling those guys and being in their pockets, talking about they'll only make this and that, and then they gotta distribute the money to their team and to the promoters. So they're only really walking away with six figures. That's basically what Teofimo Lopez was talking about. You know, kind of just get on the live and kind of just ramble about the other fighters, I guess, to build up the fight. I guess that's cool too. So, yeah, that's what's going on. That's what's going on. What else? Oh, Devin Haney's about to fight Linares sometime this summer. That's going to be a very exciting fight. Um, Linares fought Luke Campbell. Ryan Garcia just beat Luke Campbell. Since Devin Haney cannot get at Ryan Garcia right now, somehow Ryan Garcia is able to opt out even after winning the interim belt. And supposed to be supposed to be Devin Haney's mandatory. He's somehow able to opt out of that and go different routes. Really, he's really the one ducking Devin Haney. But just like Bill Haney was saying, Devin Haney's dad, there was a point in Floyd's career where nobody was fighting him, and he had to just wait. He had to just wait, and then, just given the opportunities, he was able to finally start getting fights and dominating guys, dominating good fighters, marquee top names. So, but Linares, Bill Haney said Linares was one of the fighters that are agreeing to fight Devin. I mean, he has a belt. Like, a lot of these guys do not want to have belts anymore. It's kind of strange. They're just fighting for money. But Linares, who I think lost to Luke Campbell, wants a shot at Devin Haney and his WBC belt. So I would love to see that fight. Linares is a great fighter. He can really box. He has power. Linares fought Lomachenko, and he dropped Lomachenko. How many fighters who have dropped Lomachenko? Teofimo Lopez couldn't. He clipped him. That means he's got real skill, real boxing power, technique, and he's respected in the boxing world. So that'll be a perfect name for Devin Haney's resume. And yeah, that's a good thing about boxing. There's a lot of fights to be made. There's fighters who have lost, such as Luke Campbell, Lomachenko. Luke Campbell, Lomachenko, Linares. Those are the kind of B-class fight gatekeepers. Those are the gatekeepers that can still keep these young superstars active. And fighting and defending their belts, so that by the time it's when it's time to have these mega fights, fighters won't be rusty. So, but yeah, that will be all for the live. If you haven't watched my last video I dropped earlier today, Teofimo Lopez admits he's a duck and trolls the IG live and the other lightweight superstars. I'm dropping at least a couple times a week. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and the notification bell. And we'll see you until next time. Peace out.